What's going on, guys? Asian guy here, better late than never. Apologies, it is coming late, but I will give you my personal opinion on all of these legends: the Snakeman, the Katakuri, the Sabo, and the Blackbeard for the 6th-year anniversary. We have all the information we've been waiting for: their captain abilities, special abilities, their special actions, and all of that good stuff. So first things first, let me give it to you straight. This Snakeman is by far the best legend in the game. He's by far the best of the batch, and it is crazy that he is going to be guaranteed on the 20th multi. I know not everyone can do that, obviously, but for the people who have been saving up, I believe it's going to be 980 gems, just shy of 1,000 gems. This Snakeman will last you all the way up till the end of 2021, maybe even 2022. Just look at Snakeman that we have right now. He is still a top legend. Luffy and Law, last year's anniversary unit, still to this day one of, if not the best legend in the game. Definitely, in my opinion, the best legend captain in the game, and that's an entire year gone by. In that space of a year, 20 multis is a very small price to pay for the longevity that comes with Snakeman. Now, I'm not telling you to do this if you don't want to, because you shouldn't feel obliged to, but I'm going to tell you now that if you choose not to go for this Snakeman and you had the opportunity to do so with the guaranteed multi, then you will forfeit any right to complain about the difficulty of content in the future, because this guy is going to obliterate everything. He is in a league of his own. He's in his own tier. S tier belongs to just Snakeman. S for Snakeman, and that's it. Everyone else gets pushed down. That's just how it is. His captain ability: he will boost the HP and recovery of all characters by 1.3 times, so he's insanely tanky. Great healing. Makes recovery slots count as beneficial. It's a shame, honestly, that he doesn't make strength orbs count as beneficial, but this is going to be going back into the monotype meta, and personally I think this is a really good thing, and I'll explain why later on. He will boost the attack of strength characters by 4 times, by 5 times instead if they have a strength or recovery orb. So strength units 5 times attack with the matching orbs, with the recovery orbs, and that is very disgusting. However, I do believe this means beneficial orbs will not count towards the 5 times attack boost, so it is very important to keep that in mind. Normally, beneficial orbs will count as matching orbs, but this time around, he specifically wants you to have strength or recovery orbs. And then on top of that, he is a 3.75 times rainbow captain. He'll boost all units by 3.75 times. You know who is going to have a really fun time with this? Ladies and gentlemen, V2 Shanks is going to have a delightful time on this team. His special ability will deal 100 times character attack and typeless damage to all enemies, ignoring defensive barriers and buffs, which is not bad. That will kill a lot of, honestly, that will destroy a lot of mobs, but other than that, it's a very small amount. Changes all orbs to matching and boosts orbs by 2.5 times. So block orbs aside, that's where the V2 Shanks comes in. But block orbs aside, he will give you a full board of matching orbs, so you are going to get the strength orbs guaranteed on him as long as there are no block orbs, and he will boost those orbs by 2.5 times. 2.5! And it doesn't end there yet. He has a super typing ability. Beg your pardon, for those of you who don't know what super typing is, it increases color affinity by 1.25 times, so a strength unit will do 1.25 times more additional damage to a dex unit, so instead of being 2 times, it will be a 2.5 times affinity boost, and instead of a 0.5 times, it will be a 0.75 times for strength versus quick. So in essence, this guy is well over a 5 times captain for strength into dex. It's disgusting. Now, his super type requirement is super easy. You only need to have either Ace or Sabo or any of the Straw Hats in your crew. Very easy. One of the easiest to acquire. And then the activation is disgusting. Now, super type activation so far cannot be interrupted. So any boosts you get from this or any orb manipulation you get from this cannot be interrupted by the enemy. He will deal 75 times his attack and typeless damage to all enemies. Very good for clearing out mobs. And you can use super type activation anytime you want. So you can use this on turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, whenever you want. And for 1 turn, boosts attack of all characters by 2 times, and changes all strength units into super type. And super typing lasts the full duration of the battle. So you can just have one Snakeman and then pair him up with, for example, Douglas Bullet, who has color affinity on absolutely everybody. It's disgusting. If you have Douglas Bullet, by the way, congratulations. All of these units are strengthened in. You are living the dream right now. But a unit that is a Rainbow Captain, a 2.5 times orb boost, full orb manipulation minus the block orbs, has AoE damage, and will boost the attack of all units by 2 times, all in one unit. This is filthy. This is actually disgusting. Actually disgusting. And the artwork, let me tell you, looks beautiful. It does look beautiful. I got rid of my webcam there, but I wanted to get rid of there is the image here. So for those of you who can't read all of this, there we go. It's zoomed in very, very closely there. But wow. Actually insane. Actually insane. Let's move on to Blackbeard. So, Blackbeard also artwork looks very, very nice. Now, I said this before. Originally, I didn't really like the Blackbeard artwork, but that's because of my personal bias in that I don't think Blackbeard is that attractive. Now, when I say that, I mean like his character design is good, but you know, I can't look at him and be like, yes, that is a badass character. I just can't. He just doesn't have that vibe. I know he's a bum, but he's also a very powerful bum. But Blackbeard aside, let's go into the captain ability. Now, he has a very interesting mechanic. I know Toad has made a video saying don't sleep on Blackbeard. And for me, I'm still in the unsure zone. I originally, when I saw this, thought this is probably going to be the legend that's the gimmicky one, like V2 Big Mom, or even just like V1 Big Mom, where they're really, really good for like the first few weeks, and then after a while, because of how tedious it is to use them, people will stop using them and stop running them, other than from when they really, really, really excel. So V2 Katakuri is also a great example. Whitebeard and Marco is a great example, because I personally think that this Blackbeard might be a tad bit slow to get the best out of. Captain ability. Now, he will boost the attack of ink characters by 4.25 times, which is absurd, and their HP by 1.5 times, very, very tanky. He will boost his own attack by 5 times, so kind of like Douglas Bullet, but for int types on drugs. Reduces cruise recovery, so no, you know, recovery up sockets will be nice here, and reduces his own special cooldown by 2 turns every time you take damage. Now, this translation here is a little bit off. What this really is every time you take damage, the following turn, he will reduce Blackbeard's own special by 2 turns. Not the entire crew, just himself, and it's only in the following turn. So, for example, if, say you have a whole stage of turtles, and they all hit you, all 5 of them hit you, that's not going to be a 10-turn cooldown reduction. You're still only going to get 2 turns. So whether you take 1 damage, whether you take 1 million damage, won't make a difference. No matter how many people hit you, will not make a difference. It will be 2 turns the following turn of taking damage. Now, that aside, his cooldown, I believe, at max limit break is only going to be 8. So every 3 turns, as long as you take damage per turn, you should be good at getting his special back up again. But having said that, you can probably already imagine that does sound quite tedious, like intentionally trying to stall and having to manipulate your stalling so that you end up taking damage is going to obviously be something tedious. However, there are specials in the game that will cut your own HP. I do believe, because it's the same way the Enrage limit break works, that this will also count towards the cooldown reduction. Now, his special ability will cut the HP of one enemy by 10%, ignoring all defensive barriers and buffs, which I think is not bad at all, and changes his own orb into matching, which is very, very nice. Depending on how many times his character's special has been used, boosts his own attack and orbs by a certain amount. So the first time you use his special will be a 2 times attack and orb boost to Blackbeard himself, not to the whole crew, only to Blackbeard himself, very much like Stampede Luffy. The second time you use the special will be a 3 times boost, and the third use onwards, so it does not stack infinitely, will be a 4 times boost. So after you use it the third time round, it's going to be a 4 times attack boost to himself, which is pretty dang insane. Now, his super type requirement, this Blackbeard's attack value has to be more than 500 times his base attack value, which is honestly, I don't think, going to be too difficult to obtain, although I think this is gonna have to be used on at least his second and no, it's definitely going to be on his second. On the second usage of the special, you should be able to attain this criteria very, very easy. Let me remove the artwork here so you guys can read it a bit better. But yeah, so 500 times base attack value. Let's say he has 2,000 base attack value. You want to get this over 1 million, and when it's over 1 million, you can activate super typing. Now, in stuff like Kizuna Battle, when you have loads of different buffs stacked up, getting over 1 million attack is super, super easy. And if you have a 3 times attack boost, 3 times orb boost, this is definitely going to be a lot easier when you add, for example, color affinity, or if there's a defense down debuff or a conditional debuff on your team as well. So initially when I read this, I think this is meant to be so used in the way that Blackbeard and Katakuri are meant to be paired up together, because Katakuri will give you a guaranteed delay buff unconditional. So even if they have a debuff protection from delay, Katakuri can still delay the enemy, and that will definitely get you well over 1 million attack super, super, super easily. And then you can activate super typing on Imp Blackbeard. Now, when Blackbeard's super typing has been activated, he will boost his own base attack by a further 1,000, which is absolutely absurd. That's like another 2 times boost, or 1.5 times boost, and reduces 1 turn of beneficial effects on all enemies and changes all int units into super type. Now, Blackbeard, the downside is he's definitely going to be very, very tedious to play with. The flip side is he's going to be the best unit to use against side content. And this is where I want to enter the topic of why monotyping is good. For me personally, I think that having a lot of legends in the game that are, for example, class boosting is honestly low-key redundant. Because, for example, let's look at Halloween Ace. Let's look at who am I thinking of here? V2 Mihawk, V2 Sanji, Sanji Judge, all these class restrictive captains. Nobody uses them anymore. Nobody uses them anymore because rainbow captains are better. You got Luffy Law, you got Snakeman, you got Douglas Bullet, you got color captains are just better. And the reason why is because every single team you build, you want them to have color affinity against the final boss. You want all your units, ideally, to have a color type advantage against the mini boss and also the final boss. And this is where monotype captains comes into play, is, for example, when you can have, how should I phrase it? Stampede Luffy. Stampede Luffy excels against int types. Whenever there's an int boss, Stampede Luffy is the first name like that comes to mind. And it makes me feel so good that I have him in my box, because I know he's going to be the best for doing that piece of content. I know he's going to be unrivaled, he's going to be the fastest, he's going to be the safest. And I think we need more captains like that in the game. Otherwise, we're just going to be using Snakeman for everything, Carrot for everything, Luffy Law for everything, or Sabo Mars for everything, or Douglas Bullet for everything. And this is why Douglas Bullet has really had a resurgence recently, is because his color affinity is positive against everybody. He does good damage against absolutely everybody, the mini bosses, the final bosses. Even if you don't use his special, he's still amazing because he has color affinity versus everybody. And I think this is why monotypes is good. Imagine having all the best monotype leads for whenever you get a dex content, quick content, strength content, side content, in content. Then you have every single unit that you want. You have the best captains, the best teams, just like that. Whereas if you only have, for example, Luffy Law in your box, rather than Stampede Luffy and all the other color type captains, then you're going to be having a good time overall, but you're going to be farming stuff way slower than if you had all of the specific individual typed captains or monotype captains. And this is why personally I actually really like that they've gone into doing monotypes again, because I want more units like Stampede Luffy, like Douglas Bullet. Whenever I see, oh, it's a dex boss, Stampede Luffy, not Stampede Luffy, sorry, Douglas Bullet. When I see an imp boss, Stampede Luffy, feels good. When I see a strength boss, ooh, can I do Carrot with this? Luffy Law, Easy Clap, or Sabo Mars, something like that. I really like being able to associate certain units and certain teams instantly with the piece of content, and that feels good, man, because you want to be farming as fast as possible. But that is where the drawback of Imp Blackbeard is that while he doesn't have a negative color to go up against because he's int typing, he probably can do a crap ton of damage against almost anybody. The thing is, if it's not against side units, there's definitely no way he's going to be a fast captain. He's probably not going to be anywhere near the fastest captain for anything outside of side content. But that in itself is not necessarily a bad thing. It just depends on how you view the game. But I've spoken enough about Imp Blackbeard. I do think he's a fantastic legend, but he's no Snakeman. I think anyone who does not think Snakeman is the best legend in the game right now is deluded. Let's move on to Strength Sabo. So Strength Sabo, sorry about that tangent, but I really want to emphasize why I think monotype captains is an exciting thing. Strength Sabo. Now, Sabo, definitely the most lackluster of the batch when I look at the artwork and the fact that it's Sabo. It's not in his like revolutionary gown with the white shirt or the white blazer, which looks really cool. But you know, it's Strength Sabo. It's Strength Sabo. It's Sabo. I like Sabo. He's one of my favorite characters in the game, but I'm just surprised he's an anniversary legend. Now, Sabo's captain ability, he has definitely got the most damage by far. Boosts attack or strength characters by 4 times, their HP by 1.2 times, so relatively tanky. Heals 0.5 times recovery at the end of the turn for each perfect hit. Honestly, I could care less about that part of any captain ability. I almost never find it useful because I'm not really that end game player that likes to constantly try doing forest or Garp challenges. Once you beat them once, I'm not the type that wants to experiment over and over again. But boost chain by 1.5 times as well. So this is like V2 Sanji, V2 Mihawk, all of those chain boosting captains, except his base multiplier is not 1.75 times, it's 4 times. He has a 4 times boost. Now, the big downside here is he only works with strength units. So that is a pretty huge drawback. If it was, for example, different classes, that would be very nice because that would have loads of free spirit units in there. But as I said, I also do like the monotyping as well, because otherwise when it's free spirits, you have so many different free spirit captains in the game, Luffy, Zoro, or Sober Mask. It's like, who do you want to use? Who do you really want to use? Boost strength characters affinity, his special ability, boost strength characters affinity by 2 times for 1 turn. If during this turn you hit 3 perfects, boost affinity of strength characters, very nice for Douglas Bullet, by 2 times in the following turn. After 1 turn has passed, the same timer as Kizuna Mori, I'll explain this in a moment, adds 1 to the chain. So 1.0 to the chain. So how this works is, when I first read this, I was very confused. I thought, you do the 2 times color affinity, you hit 3 perfects, and then you get another 2 times color affinity. When that second round of color affinity ends, you then get the chain buff. When I first read this, I was like, what the hell is the point of this? However, what this actually is, it allows you to stack up 2 incoming buffs. So you do the 2 times color affinity on turn 1, and then you have the buff that is the buff which is when you hit X amount of perfects, you get a buff the following turn. And then you also now have a timer buff. Now this timer buff activates a buff the following turn, and the reason they've added this is because you can't actually stack up the following turn buff, because that small symbol for hitting perfects, for example, if you were to use Carrot from the 1-0 batch, where her ability is like, if you hit 3 perfects the following turn, you get 1.75 times color affinity boost. If you use that and then, for example, use 6-star Lucy, which is 3 perfects, and you get 2 times attack boost for strength, dex, and quick units, you can't actually stack those following turn buffs up. That's why they have introduced this new buff, which is like a delayed chain boost buff. And this will apply to like attack buffs or boosts. I'm sure in the future we'll have more of these in the future, but the downside to this is that unlike the perfect buff, this can actually be cleared when you move into the following room. I believe that's how it's going to work, but I'm not 100% certain. If it can't be cleared, then by all means, this is a very good special ability. He's probably the best sub out of all of the units in this batch. I would not say worth 20 multis though. Super tight requirement, have at least 1 Luffy, Ace, Koala, or Rebecca in your crew. So that is maybe a little bit difficult. Luffy will be easy to get in there. It can't be a support unit, by the way. Luffy will be easy to get in there. Ace is a bit iffy. Rebecca is... you know, Rebecca's like, you have the Vivi and Rebecca unit, which can fit on here because it's a strength unit, but it's still a bit, you know, still a bit, And then Koala is, there's not that many great Koala units in the game right now, but maybe in the future. Super type activation effect will boost chain multiplier by 1.25, very much like Sanji and Judge's switch ability. Adds 100 times his attack in tap timing bonus damage for 1 turn, and changes all strength characters into super type. So this super type ability is actually really good for mini boss stages, but personally for me, I think Sabo will see a lot of use in Kizuna Kessen. Against Dex content, he's going to be an absolute beast, but there's so many good strength captains in the game. Douglas Bullet, Snakeman V1, even Akainu V1 6+, the new Snakeman. There's so many good strength captains in the game. I don't think pulling him just for his captain ability is that great, but the affinity and chain boost, which is very much like Cracker, is very, very, very nice. There's no inherent orb manipulation to him though, so I do think Sabo is probably the most lacking one in terms of captain ability, but as a sub, he's going to be one of the top tier subs in the game. If you're a Douglas Bullet sub and you boost color affinity, you are automatically a god tier sub. Let's move on to Int Katakuri. Now Katakuri, at first I was thinking, oh, I definitely want to do 20 multis for it. But after thinking about it, I feel like I probably want Blackbeard more. But let's go into it. So Katakuri's captain ability, he will boost attack of int characters by 4 times minimum, and by 5 times instead if you are below 50% HP. Now I know a lot of people don't like HP captains, but there are many specials that will cut your own HP. And he will also reduce damage received by 30% as well. So he is still a very, very tanky captain. But of course, HP captains are also a little bit tedious to play with as well. His special ability will randomly deal 50,000 damage 10 times to all enemies. I wish this went through barriers and stuff like that. That would make it really, really, really good. But it doesn't, unfortunately. So randomly deals 50,000 damage 10 times to all enemies, which I think is okay. I don't think that's the best special in the world. But boost attack of all characters by 2 times for 1 turn, which is great. And boost attack against delayed enemies by 2 times for 1 turn. Now this is pretty good. This is pretty good. His super type requirement will be to have his HP below 30%, which does, yeah, it's quite tedious. Let's be real, it's quite tedious. Super type activation effect delays all enemies by 1 turn, ignoring all immunity. So he can get a delay debuff conditional boost, or not delay debuff conditional, but a delay conditional boost on absolutely anybody, and changes all int characters into super type. So for me personally, when I first saw this, because I love Katakuri so much, I was like, oh, I want to do 20 multis on him. But looking at that, I can tell if I pull him, I probably will not, honestly speaking, use him that much, because I do think this is going to be a very tedious captain to play with. It's just like how V2 Big Mum was. It's like the Arlong crew. Nobody honestly likes playing with HP captains. Quickbeard, even though Quickbeard is so good, and there are plenty of people who do like him, for most people, including myself, captains that HP cut, you need to have their HP cut down for them to access their best stages, are honestly a little bit tedious. It's a shame V2 Rady is like that as well, but the big thing here is his special ability. He is a universal 2 times attack boost. And he's also universal, well, it's a conditional boost, so of course it's universal. So paired up with 6+ Usopp, this is going to be pretty good. Because most of the time, when you have a unit that has a delay conditional boost, they don't boost anything else. So you're essentially using 2 units for just 1 conditional boost. But this Katakuri has an attack boost and also has the delay boost. So instead, you'll be using 2 units for 2 boosts, which I personally think is really big. This would make Katakuri also a god tier sub, and it will make the duo of 6+ Usopp and Katakuri so good. This is the one drawback that I always felt with 6+ Usopp, is that he takes up a whole slot and he doesn't give you any boost. He just gives you the unconditional delay. And then when you take up another slot just to get the conditional boost, that's already 2 slots gone. You have your captains done as well, and that leaves you space for only 2 more units. But with Katakuri, now you have 2 boosts for 2 units with 6+ Usopp. Personally, love that a lot. And I'm very excited. I really hope I pull all of these legends. They do all seem very interesting. But for me, I think that Blackbeard is going to be the go-to legend if you want to absolutely clap side content. Of course, this Katakuri is absolutely going to clap side content. In fact, I think the best combination is going to be Katakuri plus Blackbeard rather than double Blackbeards. I do think that is going to be the most popular. It's going to be something like the Shanks crew and Luffy Law as the duo captains, leeching off one. It's not even leeching, it's like combining together to make like a super powerful team, essentially, duo of captains. So yes, very exciting stuff. I will go over all of the other stuff tomorrow, which parts to put on. There are going to be some pretty insane gem sales here. 1 times Feast, 1 times Almighty Manual, and 110 Rainbow Gems for 4,900 yen, which is absolutely absurd. You can buy these 6 times, all of these mega discount sales 6 times. So if you're ever going to spend money on the game, now is the time to do it. And yeah, you can see all the rated ups here. Thank you very much to Fideliast for this, doing all the God's work here for translations. Part 1 is going to be from the 12th of May to the 18th of May. Part 2 is going to be the 23rd and 24th. I believe Part 2 is Sabo and Blackbeard. And Part 1 is Snakeman and Katakuri. And there's going to be 5 different Sugo Fests going on. You have the overall one, I believe. Then you have the Snakeman one, the Katakuri one, the Blackbeard one, and then the Sabo one. Now, I'm not 100% certain. Maybe part 1 is going to just be Snakeman. But there's going to be at least 4 different banners that you can pull on. And they're all going to have different rated up units. So please do take care on which banners you're going to pull on. I'll elaborate on most of these tomorrow. It's going to be a 3 times legendary. It's going to be all golds. First multi is going to be discounted. Second multi is guaranteed 6th anniversary chopper, max special and sockets, or guaranteed 6th anniversary Nami, max special and sockets. Third, fourth multi is going to be guaranteed legends. Fifth multi is going to be a guaranteed legend from 2019 onwards. So in fact, from the past year, the same as the 70,000 Rayleigh point ticket, which is really, really cool. I think the oldest legend you can get from this is going to be Luffy and Law, which is absurd. Really, really, really good fifth multi. So good luck on that. Sixth multi is going to be 6 times legend rate up. So pretty much insane. Insane stuff. 9th multi, rated up legend. 12th multi, rated up legend. All of that stuff. And then part 1, 2, 3, and 4 is guaranteed Snakeman, V3 Katakuri, V2 Blackbeard, and Sabo. The one that I honestly recommend to everyone is part 1. Because it has Snakeman, Legend Sabo, the new Rayleigh, it has Chopper, it has Douglas Bullet, and Osoba Mask. Honestly, this, in my opinion, is the best banner to go for. With Osoba Mask on there as well, you know, it's just a madness. It's honestly just a madness. But part 2 has really good units on it too. Part 3 has great units. Part 4 has great units. But for me, I am part 1 gang. Let me know what gang you are. I am probably going to do 20 multis on part 1 because I would definitely hate to not have this Snakeman. I would really, really be struggling in content, I feel like, without this. I won't be struggling, but, you know, I'll be envious of people who have him, because they'll be clearing stuff super easily. But there you go, guys. I'm so sorry this video was so long, and it's so long overdue. But those are my blunt and very honest opinions of what I think about all of the legends, what I think of the monotyping, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I will see you again tomorrow with, I think, some free multi-pulls, and then the day after that is going to be the big day of the anniversary. I will be streaming that, so remember to turn your notifications on for Twitch and YouTube, because I will be uploading a notification to YouTube that I'm live streaming on Twitch if you don't want to miss me doing my pulls live, and you get to find out before anybody else what I actually pull on stream. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.